Hey everybody, welcome back to the What's Update. My name's Elijah, and now I'm going to review Transformers: The Last Knight. So here's a few things, guys. See, I've got my Decepticon shirt on here. I've actually got an Autobot tattoo on my arm because I'm a huge Transformers fan. And what I've got to say to you today is dire. It's concerning. That movie was utter trash. So here comes Hot Takes Eli with his scathing review of Transformers: The Last Knight. This is going to be like one of those Razzies things because, man, that movie could not be more worse. It could not be. I could not find a way for them to make it. It's just. Let's get into it. Okay, so arguably the worst movie of the Transformers series and franchise so far. If any of them have been good, the first one I'd still argue was good for the time that it came out and good for what I could have hoped for an adaptation of a Transformers movie, even though they killed Jazz, those monsters. So the thing with this movie is that they took a lot of the worst parts of all the movies and they threw them all into one. So let's first talk about the second Transformers movie, how that one had the stereotypical racist type robots, the stereotype robots that people were rightly upset about. And Transformers fans, I think we need to put to bed here, I mean, Michael Bay is at the helm of this franchise, or he has been, and this is his last movie, so him going away, maybe that's going to breed room for more new ideas in the Transformers space, but it's just very unfortunate that the Transformers are reduced to jokes, gimmicks, and one-liners. They have zero to no characterization or character, and when they do have character, they are gimmicks and stereotypes, and it's very upsetting. So in this movie, there is an entire like Snatch style, like meet the bad guys kind of thing where Megatron's like negotiating with humans, saying like, I need you to let this person out, I need you to let this person out. Like, where's Nitro Zeus? Where's Mohawk? Where's, like, only one of the people in that entire montage was a real Transformer, and that was Onslaught. And there is a Transformer that has like a gold chain around his neck. There's a Transformer that's a little motorcycle that has like a Mohawk, and he's like, yeah, what's up, dog? Like, all of these characters are they're an affront to my Transformers fandom. They're an assault on me as a fan. And I know we get too over the top with this stuff, and you know, our movie culture is like, it's either the worst thing I've ever seen or the best thing I've ever seen, or you know, that's not my Transformers, or because I'm a fan of it, I think I have ownership of it, and I think I know what it should be or what it can be. But this movie is just offensive as I think to almost any fan of robots, Transformers, or what the it hurts, it's hard. And I don't want to say that I'm right or that I'm wrong, but as me, my personal Transformer fandom is assaulted by this movie and is upset by what they do. So, and the biggest problem is that the Transformers are props, that they're not characters, they're props. And Bumblebee's voice has been fixed in movies before, and then it just magically disappears whenever they want to make him cute again. Also, Bumblebee, it's silly to me, and I will always say this, that they've made Bumblebee the star. And I get why they did that, because he has been consistently the best like action Autobot throughout the movies. But in the old cartoon, Bumblebee's not a hero. He's an espionage agent. He's small, he's tiny, he does the dirty work, but he's not this badass hero. And this movie retcons a lot of things, so there's no logic here. So okay, so the first Transformers movie, Transformers come to Earth for the first time, and they land. And Bumblebee comes to Earth for the first time. But apparently in this movie, and they've been trying to tie this in, so Transformers apparently came to Earth during the time of the dinosaurs, because they were trying to get resources and things like that. Transformers came to Earth in the time of King Arthur, apparently, and that's how this movie opens. And the 12 Knights were like, Quintessa's bad, and the Quintessan, not a chick specifically, but the Quintessa, not a part of Cybertron. They are an agent of Unicron. They're not tied into Cybertron, but in this movie they're like, yo, she's the thing that created Autobots on Cybertron. That's not true. That was Primus. Y'all need to shut up. Or if we're going by the movie continuity they've set up, then it was the Allspark, which is the Matrix, can't be called the Matrix because the Matrix exists as a movie. But so they're just retconning all this stuff, and they're just saying, hey, and then the next time Transformers came was like during World War I, and they've been here since World War II, and I guess Bumblebee was on Earth during World War II, but he just doesn't remember hanging out with French Hot Rod at all. Why is Hot Rod French? It doesn't make much sense at all. So there's one movie that's being made in this movie, and that's the story with Anthony Hopkins of the secret history of Transformers on Earth and the King Arthur time, but then how they've been here and they've been hiding Transformers throughout history. How did the knowledge of Transformers not get out if there were Transformers that were helping people in World War I, and if Bumblebee assaulted Nazi fortresses with Hot Rod in World War II? Like, how did that not get out? How did the soldiers not tell anyone? Did they kill everyone there? Like, what? Okay, so that's one movie they're making. Now, remember in the trailers how they're showing like this little girl and the kids and all this stuff, and you're like, oh, they're making Stranger Things, but Transformers. That's cool. That's 30 minutes of the movie at most, and then she shows up at the end of the movie for 20 minutes. So like that entire stuff, all that character, that chick, she's a throwaway. I don't know why she's in this movie. And then, I mean, I liked her. She was fine. She was one of the only fine parts of the movie. And her little robot with the arm, he just like at the end he blows up a cannon, and that's like the all of it. It's okay. So Mark Wahlberg. There's a Mark Wahlberg movie in here where it's just Mark Wahlberg and the Autobots. Then there's a movie where it's a Mark Wahlberg romance movie, and it's basically him being from that oil rig movie, and he's like in a sub. It's just, this movie is really, really bad. There's too many movies happening. The pacing is terrible. The way it jumps around, and it's like they were like, here's one 20-minute movie, then let's transition, and here's another 20-minute movie, and they bring back Josh Duhamel to just say like military stuff like Helo's up in 6, or like we got to go to the HCVZVs, and it's like the subs. And did I mention that Megatron is a jet in this movie? Megatron is a jet. Megatron's a jet. Megatron's a jet. You want to know what's dumb? Megatron being a jet. He's not a jet. He's a gun. He's like a turret. He's sometimes a tank. But a jet? Why is Megatron still around? Why is there not other bad guys? Like, why can't there's a breadth and depth of amazing enemies in the Transformers universe? You know, like, bring me like real Scorponok and not just like little Scorpion tiny one. Give me like some sun. I just it upsets me a lot. Okay, so movie is over the top. The times that they have the Transformers in the scenes, I mean, Grimlock, one of the best Transformers and the most badass Transformers, is relegated to being a puppy, essentially. A squeaky dog that's just barking around a junkyard, and he appears out of nowhere in one scene, F's up some human cars, and then leaves, and he's not in the movie or addressed ever again. He's in 2 scenes, and it's like one scene he just like explodes some dudes. Like he literally like bursts out of the ground out of nowhere, and then like flips over and rolls, and they're blown up, and then like slag comes out of the side of the screen, and he just like bursts into the guys. It's like, okay, what happened to the other Dinobots? Where's Snarl and Swoop and Sludge? Like, what happened to your other Dinobots you had in the last movie? You're just gonna have Grimlock in like one scene, and then you're gonna have him not even show up at the end of the movie when they got in a ship and took all the Autobots to another thing. Hound is in this movie, and Megatron hits him, and I thought they one-shotted and killed Hound, but then Hound just shows up again randomly at the end, and just like, okay, I guess he didn't die, even though he took that direct face shot from Megatron, and you would think he'd be hurt, but I guess not. Optimus Prime's screen time in this movie, 15 minutes total, probably? You're going to have the star of your franchise. You're going to turn him evil, but you're not even going to give real reasonings why. And why was Optimus Prime in space? I don't believe that happened at the end of the last movie. I thought he just made the call to anyone to come, like his makers, and like come deal with this. But he was just like floating through space at the beginning of the movie. That didn't make any sense. He gets to the planet, and she's just like, oh, you should be bad. And he's like, you're right, I am bad. And then he's bad for all of like 7 of the minutes that he's in the movie. And then the rest of the time, Bumblebee's just like, yo, man, I'm one of your oldest friends. And I was like, nah, man, Bumblebee is not one of Optimus Prime's oldest friends. Nah, they cool, but it ain't like that. It's just the movie's really, really bad. Mark Wahlberg's fine. Carmichael's fine. The pacing and the plotting is really stupid. Their use of the Transformers is very stupid. The there's like mad stereotype jokes in this thing. There's a lot of stupid pop culture references. The jokes are pretty terrible. Overall, this movie is really bad. I want to say it's like a 4 out of 10, a 3 out of 10. I'm just so down on this franchise, and it hurts because I love Transformers. I've got a box of Transformers at my mom's house. There's like 200 of those in there. I got Softimus Prime right adjacent. I could pull him on screen and be like, "This is Softimus Prime. He's a stuffed Optimus, and he transforms." I got a Optimus Prime mask up there that voice changes. Like, I love Transformers, and this movie is very bad. It's the worst bad. It's the most bad, and it hurts my heart that they can't give some real characterization to these guys. They've got a Bumblebee prequel spin-off movie coming, and I guess now we're going to see Bumblebee in World War II. I guess it's just silly to me that this prequel movie is going to rewrite the history of the first movie. And the other thing was, like, they had Tucci in this movie, because Tucci's in the fourth one, but they have him in this movie as Merlin. But then they shit all over the origins of Merlin. He was like a drunk, and like he only did magic because the Transformers helped him do magic, and it was just like, it completely crapped on the entire lore of Merlin. And like, I can't believe that we saw the knight Lancelot in a Transformers movie before we saw it in the King Arthur movie, because like Lancelot's not in that movie, and you're just like, yo, Sons of Anarchy dude, Guy Ritchie, what are you guys doing? You need Lancelot in here. And it's like, no, he's in the Transformers movie. He was busy. It's bad. It's bad. It's upsetting. They had British Megan Fox in this movie, essentially, and they were like, hey guys, look at her playing polo to establish that she's not just a pretty face and she's smart. And like, just the way that they do all these things that Anthony Hopkins was wasting his time in this movie. He must have got a really big check to be in this thing, because the lines that he had to say, I was just like, poor Anthony, like, just you're a great actor. What you did in Westworld was phenomenal, and then you being relegated to being in this film, and like, who is your agent? What did they do to you? Are you being held hostage? I just can't. I can't. It's so bad. It's one of the, it's not going to make money. They were projecting, what, 70 to 90 mil in the States. I feel sorry to the people who pay that. I mean, I guess it's a fun summer ride, and Mark Wahlberg's fine. It's fine. It's just, Bumblebee was good enough. His new ability to just reform for no reason is pretty stupid. The fact that Hot Rod has a time-ending gun is pretty dumb. The fact that this chick was the descendant of Merlin Witwicky, of course, someone of the Witwicky line, you would imagine, pretty stupid as well. The fact that the military was hunting down the Autobots, pretty dumb. I mean, I think it's been seen on national TV many times that Bumblebee and Optimus Prime show up all the time to just save humans, but they're like, alien, enemy, and it's like these propaganda posters of Optimus and Bumblebee. It's like, you know, those guys have saved your planet like 4 times, at least. Even from human threats that were stupid, because the humans were like, let's make a Transformer, let's trust Megatron. And then in the middle of this movie, they're just like, hey, we need to find a thing, so let's just get the Decepticons to find it. We're just like, hey, Decepticons, go hunt down the Autobots and get this thing for us, because we're totally going to trust you to not betray us and destroy the planet again. There's just like the lapses in logic. They had my dude, the Bagman from Veep in there, my dude, Tony Hale, is that the guy from Arrested Development? Buster Bluth, and just, that was a wasted role for him. Just the science of it. I mean, he was fine. He was funny. It's just, why would they trust the Decepticons? That makes no sense. And then there's this whole thing where Mark Wahlberg just happens to go into this area where he meets the girl, and he happens to get this talisman that makes him the last knight, and it just like is on this arm, and then it comes onto this arm, and then it like moves around his body, and the only thing it does the whole movie is become a sword one time when he's defending one person. And that's really dumb. I guess it also makes the knights be like, yo, we're knights with you. The only 2 parts that I liked was when the 12 dudes became the dragon and flew, and I was like, oh, get hype, dragon transformer, that's cool. And then when Optimus Prime says Autobots attack, just because it's Peter Cullen's sultry, beautiful voice, and it gave me chills again, because that's what his voice does, and Optimus Prime is my dude still. But also, that movie was trash. Garbage of the highest accord. I can't believe it got made. I am so glad Michael Bay's not involved anymore. I think I'm gonna boycott him now for what he did, because like, I used to ride for that guy. Like, Pain and Gain, fine film. The Bad Boys movies, the dope stuff. That's the dope shit right there. But now, I think for what he has done to Transformers, I'm going to boycott him, much like M. Night Shyamalan for what he did to Avatar. Yep, that's we've got to a sad, somber place now, but it's okay. That Transformers movie's bad. I don't frequently say this, but please do not go see it. Do not give them your money. Don't do it. It's a trap. That movie is a terrible, terrible trap. Alright, this has been the What's Update. I'm Elijah. If you liked the movie, tell me why in the comments, because I would really love to hear your reasonings. But You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. You can do the thing, Julies. But, like, you see, I started off so heated and hot, and then now I'm just, like, at the end of this, I'm just sad that it's not good, because I want it to be good. I want there to be good Transformers content out there. And there just is not, and it's sad, but that's okay. That's why I'm wearing Decepticons, because it's evil and it's bad. Okay, but thank you for watching. Keep smiling, beautifuls. I'm going to be back with some more Game of Thrones videos today. You have a great day.